Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Have you ever looked at your phone, scrolled through social media, or used a new app and thought, this is a little too much, this is starting to feel like an episode of Black Mirror? If you have, you're definitely not alone. This show has become the go-to comparison for any technology that feels even slightly unsettling or dystopian. But have you ever wondered where this brilliant, terrifying, and thought-provoking series came from? Who is the mastermind behind it? And how did they create a show that so perfectly captures our modern anxieties? Well, today we're diving deep into the fascinating origin story of Black Mirror. The story of Black Mirror begins with one man, Charlie Brooker. Before he became known for predicting our bleak technological future, Brooker was a well-known writer, comedian, and broadcaster in the UK. He was famous for his sharp, cynical, and incredibly funny commentary on media, politics, and modern culture. He had a show called Screen Wipe, where he would hilariously dissect television shows and news coverage. This background is crucial because it shows that Brooker has always been an astute observer of how the media we consume shapes our reality. He wasn't just a tech guy, he was a cultural critic with a wicked sense of humor. So how did he get the idea for Black Mirror? It wasn't one single eureka moment. Instead, it was a culmination of his observations. Brooker noticed a growing unease in society, a kind of low-level hum of anxiety surrounding the new technologies that were rapidly becoming part of our daily lives. Smartphones were no longer just phones. They were portals to our entire social existence. Social media was evolving from a fun way to connect with friends into a powerful tool for validation, comparison, and even public shaming. He saw the potential for stories in the gap between the utopian promises of technology and the messy, unpredictable reality of human nature. The name itself, Black Mirror, is pure genius. Brooker explained it himself. Think about what you see when your phone, your tablet, or your TV screen is turned off. You see your own reflection in that dark, glossy surface. The Black Mirror is the screen that has become a constant companion in our lives, and in it we see ourselves. It's a powerful metaphor for how technology reflects our own desires, our fears, and our flaws back at us. It's not the technology itself that's evil. It's what we do with it. With this powerful concept, Brooker pitched the show. His idea was for an anthology series, meaning each episode would be a standalone story with new characters and a new setting. This format was inspired by classic shows like The Twilight Zone, which also used self-contained tales to explore bigger societal themes. This was a brilliant move. It allowed him to explore a vast range of ideas without being tied down to a single plotline. One week, he could tell a story about political satire, and the next, a heartbreaking romance set in a simulated reality. Each episode could be its own mini-movie, a perfectly contained dose of techno-paranoia. The first home for Black Mirror was a British public service broadcaster called Channel 4. This was significant. Channel 4 has a reputation for commissioning bold, provocative, and often controversial programming. They were willing to take a risk on Brooker's dark and unconventional vision. And on December 4, 2011, the world got its first taste of Black Mirror with the episode, The National Anthem, and what a first taste it was. For those who haven't seen it, the episode involves a shocking ultimatum given to the British Prime Minister. It had nothing to do with futuristic gadgets or AI. Instead, it was about the terrifying power of social media, 24-hour news, and public opinion in the digital age. It was shocking, uncomfortable, and impossible to look away from. It immediately announced that this was not going to be a typical sci-fi show. Black Mirror was here, and it was holding up a mirror to the ugliest parts of our hyper-connected world. The first 2 seasons on Channel 4 were a critical success. Episodes like 15 Million Merits explored the gamification of life and meaningless labor, while The Entire History of You showed how the ability to perfectly recall every moment could destroy a relationship. The show was building a cult following, praised for its intelligence, originality, and chilling relevance. Robert Downey Jr. even optioned the film rights to The Entire History of You, a testament to how compelling these stories were. But the show's biggest turning point came in 2015. This is when the global streaming giant Netflix stepped in. They saw the massive international potential of Black Mirror and acquired the rights to the show. This move was a game changer. Suddenly, Black Mirror went from being a critically acclaimed British gem to a global phenomenon. With Netflix's bigger budget and worldwide distribution, the scale of the show exploded. The production values went up, and they were able to attract major Hollywood talent, both in front of and behind the camera. Directors like Joe Wright and Jodie Foster signed on, and actors like Bryce Dallas Howard, John Hamm, and Anthony Mackie starred in episodes. This new era gave us some of the show's most iconic and widely discussed episodes. Think of San Junipero, the Emmy-winning masterpiece that offered a surprisingly hopeful and beautiful take on virtual reality and life after death. It proved that Black Mirror wasn't just about doom and gloom. It could also tell profoundly human and moving stories. Then there was Nosedive, a pastel-colored nightmare about a society obsessed with social ratings, which felt frighteningly close to our own world of likes and shares. And who could forget USS Callister, a dark and thrilling exploration of toxic fandom and digital tyranny, cleverly disguised as a Star Trek parody. The move to Netflix also allowed for more experimentation with the format. In 2018, they released Bandersnatch, a feature-length interactive film where viewers could make choices for the main character, leading to multiple different storylines and endings. It was a massive undertaking that blurred the lines between television and video games, and it perfectly embodied the show's core themes of choice, control, and the nature of reality. It was a meta-masterpiece, a Black Mirror episode about making a Black Mirror-style piece of interactive fiction. So how does Charlie Brooker do it? How does he keep coming up with ideas that feel like they're ripped from tomorrow's headlines? He says he doesn't start with the technology. He starts with a human story, a what-if scenario. What if you could block someone in real life? What if a political cartoon character actually ran for office? He then figures out what piece of technology would make that story possible. This human-centric approach is what makes the show so effective. We don't just care about the cool gadgets, we care about the people whose lives are being turned upside down by them. The creation of Black Mirror is a story about a sharp, witty observer of culture who had a powerful idea at the perfect time. Charlie Brooker, with the initial support of Channel 4 and the global reach of Netflix, crafted a series that has defined a decade of television. It's more than just a TV show. It's a cultural touchstone, a warning, and a conversation starter. It forces us to look at our screens, and then to look at ourselves, and ask some very difficult questions. And that's the real genius of Black Mirror. It's not just predicting the future, it's interrogating the present. It holds up that dark, reflective screen and shows us who we are right now, in all our flawed, hopeful, and technologically entangled glory. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the world of Black Mirror. What's your favorite episode, and which one do you think is the most likely to come true? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. See you next time.